It's joke, no joke, no joke. Oh, you know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Joke, no joke, no joke. Joke, no joke. Cheeky joke, no joke. Choke, no joke. Chiggy choke, no joke. You know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Choke, no joke. You already know. Outside, as I should be. Got a brother over here chipping some golf balls. Shout out to my golf instructor, getting my game right. How y'all feeling out there? I hope y'all feeling good. Shout out to the travel group. Much love to y'all. You know what I mean? Shout out to all my moderators in the building. Tasha Rain, what up? The whole crew, what up? I see y'all. All the membership gang, what up? Much love to y'all. Extra love to y'all. I'm watching this guy. He's chipping over here, and he's actually using real golf balls. And I'm kind of nervous because I hope none of them come this way, but he looked like he got his swing together. But he gave me a good idea on where to come practice at. Because what he's doing is the trail that y'all see behind me, is somewhat straight for, probably, I don't know, a third of a mile. So what he's doing over there is he's chipping balls and he's trying to keep them on a straight path. I guess that would be the line for the direction that he would be hitting going towards the hole. And it's actually a great way of practicing because he getting good chips and they landing right on the tar and not in the grass, which I think is his goal to where he want to hit. But that's interesting. Oh, Shicky. He can't even walk. He's on the walker. Wow. That's even more interesting. This dude can't even walk. And he got like a walker, electric walker, I think it is. Very interesting. Even when you can't walk, you can still play golf if you can stand and you got a good posture and can still swing. That's crazy. That's inspirational. Some people just don't give up, bro. That's very interesting. I hope he comes. I want to see how he get his balls. Pause. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah. So what's good, y'all? Choke no joke. I'm in the building, and this dude Vlad, man, right? Now I see why he's so misinformed when it comes to the Tupac and Biggie stuff, right? Because he's friends with all the people who allegedly got something to do with it. Now let's go that like Vlad. Let me explain to you because I seen you and Marv James. You know, Marv James such a hypocrite. Like he's such a hypocrite. Like, and I sometimes I be thinking Marv James is a couple of beers short of a six pack. Like, like we're all confused as to why Marv James is so cool with Reggie, knowing that his brother didn't really rock with Reggie like that, or allegedly is Reggie has some involvement, or was with Marv James when he got killed. I mean, not Marv James, Buntry when he got killed allegedly, right? It is public record known that if Reggie was so cool with Buntry, why did him and his dad go to Buntry's funeral, right? When nigga don't go to your funeral and they acting like they cool or and they was around when you got killed allegedly, and they don't show up to the funeral, it should tell you something about uh where they stood with the person, right? Because most of the people that don't show up to the funeral got some type of guilt. You know what I'm saying? They know something. This is why they don't show up because they can't face the people because they know stuff. Similar like Gene Squill not showing up to Biggie's funeral, but he out here writing books and doing docs and everything about Big, but he didn't even go to his funeral. He didn't even have the decency to go to Miss Waller's funeral, to spend his little coins and get on a plane and go see Miss Wallace and not sit here and try to use the excuse that he was out of town. Nigga, you live out of town. The hell you talking about? Nigga, you don't live in New York. Like, so what the hell difference do it make? Right? So when niggas got that guilt, they can't show face. So it's always weird that Marv James is so cool with Pork Butt, the dirty Compton pig, right? But that's on him. I think that uh, that comes from needing money, right? Because how you doing Gangster Chronicles with a cop, a former cop, a crooked one, like a drug convicted cop? Like I just never understand how the West Coast niggas embrace Reggie as a street nigga, unless he was a street nigga. They got to know the dirty side of him to be sitting around with a cop talking about gangsters, Gangster Chronicles, and NWA may F the police. But all, excuse me, all the gang culture and everything that they told us about was the polar opposite. They didn't embrace the police at all. They hated the police. But not these dudes. You got Whack on Pyru running with the police, Reggie. You had the Gangster Chronicles rolling with the police, Reggie. Marv James rolling with the police, former police, whatever. He's still a police. FBI informant. Let's wait. Let's update his status. from former cop to FBI informant on record to now uh, government witness, state's witness for Las Vegas Metro Police Department, who testified in the Keefe D grand jury and led the grand jury as the leading witness in the Keefe D case. That rat does shows with Gangster Chronicles. They embraced this government informant, this federal informant in 96, 97, who he admitted to he was, right? The dude that supposed to did 82 months and did 9, 12, right? These are the guys that Marv James and them and Vlad and them embraced. The crooked cop, the drug smuggling, drug trafficking cop, uh, money laundering cop. This nigga Vlad did a whole interview, 2 hours, 3 hours with Reggie, talking about Suge Knight. Like this nigga was really around Suge Knight in 91 and 92 and 93 and 94 and 95 when Death Row was in his heyday. And I once talked to him about, yo, how was you selling them drugs? Yo, your dad had $3 million in his account when they knocked you. $3 million. This is how you know these niggas is dirty. They go do an interview with Seaside Police Department. They didn't ask his father, yo, how'd you feel about your son putting $3 million drug money in your account? And you didn't know this? You didn't know something was going on? You know he wasn't a cop no more. That ain't a cop salary. He didn't have no security company. So how did your son put $3 million in your account, sir? And that's what we caught. How much did you spend? And you had nothing to do with this. You just seeing all this money just going to your account every other fucking week, every day, every other month. All this money just going into your account. You got $3 million, and you are a former lieutenant or captain. I don't even know, but you was more than the goddamn beat walker. You was out here arresting people in the streets. You was out here busting criminals. And you telling me you ain't noticing $3 million going into your goddamn account. As a person that used to put people in jail and didn't think your son was doing something illegal, and this nigga ain't even got a job. And why would he need to be putting all that money in your account, sir? And that's not strange. But Vlad trusts these guys to be telling him the truth about Tupac's murder. And then to be talking about he solved it. No, you didn't solve it. But what we did realize is Vlad just revealed that he's been talking to Trayvon Lane for years. And him and Trayvon are friends. Vlad, these niggas that you interview are not your friend. If you ain't spend 5 days or more in their apartment or in their house, if you have not met their mother more than 5 occasions, they are not your friend. If you never met his pops, he is not your friend, bro. If you never did Thanksgiving at his house, bought his mother a Christmas gift, his sister, his brother, aunt, spent nights at his house, you're not a friend. Stop saying you because you interview these guys and you speak to them on the phone that they friends. They not friends, bro. We got friends that ain't even friends. And you're not from the hood. So he's not your friend. You can say an associate, not even an associate, a business associate, because you're trying to do business with him. You're trying to interview him. He's not your friend. Ain't nobody you talk to over the goddamn phone or over the fucking Skype or FaceTime while they sitting in the studio and you in a remote location somewhere, your friend. Tony Yayo is not even your friend. He's a business associate. Would you give Yayo the keys to your house and you not be there? And tell me, yo, you could go stay at my house, man. Yo, I'm over in Canada. Yeah, I won't be back for a month. Yo, you could go ahead and stay there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's cool. You could bring a couple of your homies. Yeah, I know they gonna listen to you. If you would let Yayo stay in your house while you in another country and he could get access to your crib, he's your friend. Would you do that? Hell no. You know damn well, hell no. You would not let Yayo go stay in your house while you not there in another country. And he can have a few friends with him. Right. Even him and his lady. And then actually, Yayo, would you let me, if you was in the Swiss Alps, Mr. Swiss Alps ass nigga, right? If you was over in the Swiss Alps and I needed to stay at your house for 3 days, you give me the passcode to your door. I can stay there, me and my girl, or me and my security. Ask him. I bet you'd be like, nah, Vlad, you my man, Vlad, but nah, nah. But actually, yo, could if he wanted to go to 50 house and 50 wasn't there, could he go in? I bet you he could. I bet you he could. I bet you if 50 needed to go to Yayo house and Yayo was somewhere else, I bet you he could. You're not his friend, bro. You're a business associate. There's a difference. Now, before I get deeper into this Tupac thing, right? Vlad, why do you get offended when people call you a culture vulture? There's no reason to be offended by that. It is what it is. The definition defines you, and you get upset about it because Dame Dash and Dame Dash invented the term, and you don't like them. It is what it is. That it is what you are, and I'm a for you not to take it in such a negative light. I'm gonna break it down to you, Vlad, right? To show you people in our culture that are culture vultures, right? It ain't because you're white that makes you a culture vulture. It has nothing to do with color or race. It's taking advantage or tap into a culture that you are not a part of, that you didn't grow up in, right? It's something that you see financially beneficial to you, so you tap into that culture to make money. That's what makes you a culture vulture, right? And you can say, "Oh, I'm hip hop." No, you're not. You got into hip hop, right? You didn't grow up in hip hop. You didn't grow up in urban neighborhoods. You didn't grow up on food stamps and welfare and government cheese and government peanut butter, right? Free lunch. There's a difference when we say culture, right? Yeah, you might have break dance, make because you saw it when it was popular. We did it when it wasn't popular. We did it when we was doing it because it was part of the culture. You saw it in the music video and emulated it. You saw it in the magazine and emulated it. We are the pictures in the goddamn magazine. You're looking at us living in those neighborhoods, us doing graffiti on the wall before it became commercial. You looking at us getting arrested for writing and tagging on trains and in the walls, in the hallways of our buildings. You're looking at us destroying our properties in the hallways, putting graffiti all up and down the staircase, the pissy staircase that you didn't experience. That is the culture, brother. You're not of that. Yeah, you could go out and put out some mixtapes later in life, right? And say that you've been doing hip hop stuff. No, nigga, you got into it. Steve Rifkin, he's not a part of the culture. He signed people for the culture. It's business. He didn't grow up in the projects and everything. Just because he signed Wu Tang or Mobb Deep and Big Pun and Fat Joe and Dead Prez, that don't make him hip hop. That made him a smart businessman. That made him a smart businessman, right? That don't make him hip hop. He'll never be hip hop. He may understand the culture like you understand some of it, but you're not of the culture. Now, let me give you an example so you don't feel offended by what I'm saying. You know who's a culture vulture in hip hop? The RZA, Wu Tang. They are culture vultures. Them niggas ain't grow up in Shaolin. Them niggas have never even been to Shaolin when they was talking that none of that all that Wu Tang Shaolin stuff. They was still in their culture. That was their culture. They went and took their culture. They are culture vultures when it comes to Shaolin and Wu Tang and everything. These niggas haven't even been to Japan and China or anything back then. They saw that in the Shaw Brothers movies when we grew up, right? Because that became us in the hip hop culture watching the Shaolin or Japanese or Chinese kung fu culture. We got outside and started after the 3 o'clock when the karate movies went off. We outside in the streets with our mouths doing the sound effects, fighting. We never even been to karate school. We don't know nothing about proper technique of kicking and punching. No, we're inspired by what we see, and it's flying. These niggas is flying through the air, knowing that we thinking it's real back then, but they on ropes and cables and stuff back then, like the five deadly venoms. We really thinking the dudes got snake. Nigga, we out in the streets. We copying, just like you copy somebody how to DJ. You wasn't in the projects and when we was nigga, like, yo, let us use your electricity and got the electric cord out the window going downstairs so niggas could hook up their equipment in front of the building. You didn't live that. That's the culture. Just like the RZA didn't grow up fucking eating rice and Thai food and all that other stuff. He didn't walk around in robes and stuff like that. He didn't walk and get they copied that. He's a culture vulture for Shaolin Wu Tang. All of them. Then we became culture vultures for the Italians, like Wu Tang again, the Wu Gambinos, right? They adopted that culture from the Italians. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to move all these goddamn flies and shit, right? But hip hop and became culture vultures in the Italian culture, right? From seeing the Godfather and stuff like that, these type of things, we adapted their culture. So don't get offended when they say culture vulture, because that's what you are. as RZA is a culture vulture when it comes to Shaolin and Wu Tang. It is what it is. Now, getting to Marv James. Stop thinking you black, Vlad. Just sit back and listen. Understand the culture. Stop thinking you know the culture and telling somebody that lived it. Marv James lived a gangster lifestyle. He really is from the trenches. He is really from the culture. How the fuck you telling him anything when he's telling you about the culture that you're not involved in? Now he's telling you it's Trayvon's fault that Pac went and attacked Orlando. You telling him no, it ain't. You know, talking about Buntree could have stopped him. Buntree could have stopped who? How would Buntree even know what Pac reaction is going to be for you to say that Pac didn't get killed because of Trayvon? And Marv James is telling you right. Trayvon was supposed to go run up on Orlando. Fuck he telling Pac for? And then you not even there. You getting your story from Reggie, Marv James, Trayvon, all the niggas that's involved in the situation. And you think they telling you the police that everybody feel like you the police. You think they gonna be telling you the truth? They spinning you, nigga. You think Trayvon told you the truth or what he really told Tupac? You think Tupac ran up on Orlando because the nigga told him, yo, that's the nigga that took my chain? Vlad, you will have to be stupid to believe that's what he told him. You would have to be completely ignorant to think that Trayvon told Pac, yo, that's the nigga that took my chain. You think that's what sent him off over there? You're dumb if you believe that. Pardon me. No disrespect. But that's not what the hell he told Tupac. And if he told you that and you believe it, and you think Tupac ran off and ran over Orlando because he told him, yo, he took my chain, and you sitting there arguing, debating with Marv James, who's telling you that's his beef. He's supposed, Tupac don't even know this nigga. He was supposed to go over there and tell him. So you don't see the setup? Why the hell you think he told Tupac anything? The play was in motion, nigga. And you make me feel like you helping them cover this up. Why you keep bringing Reggie up on Vlad and Marv James, knowing that Marv James said he didn't see Keefy D out in Vegas on your channel? Why didn't you show? Why didn't you show that? You make me feel like you're working with somebody to help sabotage somebody because you, Marv James, said on your platform, I did not see Keefy D in Vegas. And you never hit him with the flashback. Yo, you said you didn't see him. And now you said you see him. And you brought him back on there because the last time he was up there, he said he didn't see him. And then there's a time when he said, hey, Reg, you was there. You seen him too. Play that. Why you don't play Marv James or ask Marv James about when he said, yo, we had dirty cops working at death row that used to rob banks. Why you don't ask him about things when he say stuff like that? Who are you trying to help these guys? And if you've been talking to Trayvon Lane for all these years, why you can't get an interview with him? Why you can't get him to say what he's saying to you on the guy on your show? That's not strange to you. You can't get him to come on your joint and say what you're saying because you saying, "Oh, me and Trayvon is friends," and Buntry could have stopped Tupac. Buntry could have stopped Tupac. Buntry could have stopped Tupac. Vlad, you gotta understand when dudes is talking to you, they do not trust you. Like these are street niggas. They gonna take your money and they gonna tell you whatever they think they need you to hear to continue to get their money. But if you believe Marv James was running the door at Club 662, you're ignorant. Even Reggie said that's a lie. Now, if Reggie tells you that Marv James is lying about running the door at 662, which one of them you think is telling you the truth? If Marv James said he was running the door at Club 662, right? And that was a police charity event, allegedly. So they said, right? And I ain't even know alleged. That was a police charity event. And they had the Mar Paru dude running the door. Now, and Reggie got all these cops working, right? And they had Marv James running the door. Come on, Vlad. And Reggie tells you that's a lie. Reggie tells you that's a lie. And you sit there and not question that. Marv James tell how about how much he hated Suge and everything, but Suge gave him a job running the door at Club 662 is a Mar Paru for the police charity event. Vlad, man, these are your friends. Excuse me for spitting y'all, but I got some. I was sick. I explained that already, and I gotta get this inflammation out of me. But yeah, Vlad, these are your friends, bro. Now, getting back to the situation, Vlad, I need you to really put on your thinking cap and stop thinking these dudes is your friend, right? And understand when Marv James tells you that Trayvon was out of pocket to get Tupac to fight his battles, and he was supposed to be a badass himself back then, right? If you're gonna argue with Marv James when it comes to him telling you that Trayvon was wrong for going to Tupac when he saw Orlando, which sent Tupac over there. If you think that Trayvon wasn't in the wrong, and you sat there and you argued with Marv James about that, this is why they call you a culture vulture, because you don't even understand gang politics, street politics, basic, basic street beef. You don't even understand that, nigga. If you got a problem with as a person, you handle it yourself. And this is why they call you a culture vulture, my brother, because you don't understand that simple point in street politics and culture politics. That's something that your parents teach you in the hood. You fight your own battles because you might get a nigga killed. That's the same thing the girl called her brother. "Yeah, this dude's over here talking crazy to me." They brother come over there to defend their sister and wind up getting killed. And she got to live with that goddamn guilt for the rest of her goddamn life. Her nephew, her uncle, whoever it was that she called the man and her family to come defend her over some bullshit that she could have just handled herself by leaving it alone or walking away or calling the police. But she called on somebody else to handle it, and they got their ass killed. Case in point, Pop. And for you to tell Marv James he's wrong, that Trayvon wasn't wrong for running into Tupac, and he's supposed to handle that himself, this is why they call you a culture vulture. You don't understand, right? That's like me telling John Gotti that Sammy the Bull wasn't wrong for fucking ratting on him. I would not understand that Costa the Nostra to tell him that Sammy the Bull wasn't wrong. So if you don't understand my analogy, then that means you really believe that the RZA was from Shaolin. If you don't understand that, then that means that the RZA is not a culture vulture. That this nigga is really from Shaolin. He really grew up in Wu Tang. You know what I'm saying? He really fucking grew up in Japanese culture and everything. That's what you telling us. That them niggas in Staten Island was really in Japan, or they was really in China, or Shanghai, or wherever the hell Wu Tang niggas is from, or the Shaolin guys is from. That's what you telling us. That these niggas really grew up in Shaolin. You understand it now? So you're as much as a culture vulture as RZA is for Shaolin and Wu Tang. It's no different. He might know more about the culture now because he's been over there. He's been over there. He done went and became a monk and this, that, and the other. But he's in a culture now, but he's not from the culture. He is a culture vulture, even though he went over there and learned all about it now, as you learned about us and interviewed a bunch of black people. You're still a culture vulture as RZA is a culture vulture. It's that simple, brother. Joke, no joke. I'm out.